So, Tommy Lonergan, you've just signed a multi-year deal with the Blues. Brilliant news all round. Why did the timing feel right to come now?
Yeah, I just think it was the right timing for me. Since I've came in the door, I've loved my time here. I think the supporters have really, brought me into the club, and the players and the staff, and obviously since John came in, I've loved me football. And yeah, my agent rang me and he said that Waterford want to get you on a permanent, and it was just a bit of a no-brainer.
It's brilliant stuff. You mentioned John Coleman there. Since he's come in, you've really flourished as a player under him. What has changed, if anything at all, and just how much are you enjoying your football under John?
Yeah, I think it's just the belief he's kind of instilled in me. Just give me consistent minutes on the pitch, and I think he just kind of let me play free. And yeah, I think when I'm playing free and I'm enjoying myself, that's probably when I play my best football, and that's probably where John comes in perfect, because he's kind of like he just kind of lets you go out there and just play your football and yeah, just do your stuff.
John seems to have a very attacking philosophy. I spoke to John myself in an interview just like this, and he mentioned how he'd rather lose a game trying to win it than lose it trying to draw it. And that must be great for an attacker like yourself. It also feels like almost that you're one of the first names on the team sheet now. How much does that add to your game, knowing that the manager has such a belief in you?
That's what I was just saying there. It's just the confidence that he instills in me has a massive impact on me, because see, if a coach or a manager kind of, he's hemming and hawing about you, you're kind of maybe doubting yourself or doubting, like, am I good enough or whatever. But John, he's just instilled lots of confidence in me, and I hope I'm repaying him well.
Mm-hmm. You seem to have settled really well here in Waterford in general. Obviously, you mentioned your teammates and the backroom staff and all that kind of stuff. How much has Waterford itself as a city and as a place added to your settling in here?
Yeah, to be honest, when I was young, obviously I have family in Tipperary, so I kind of always knew about Waterford, and obviously Carrick's half an hour down the road. But since I've been in Waterford, just I think it's just a beautiful county altogether. I'm always at the beach in the city, and you'd be chatting to supporters out in the street, and they're all just how are you getting on, like, good game the other day, or if it's a bad game, get a bit of grief. But it's all a bit of crack and a laugh at the end of the day. But I just love it here, and I feel so settled. And since I've been down here, I used to travel more back up to Dublin, but I'm just seeing myself just staying down here a lot more now.
Excellent. It's an exciting time to be a part of the football club, but also to be a fan of the football club. What are some of your short-term goals, even just for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think it's a really exciting time for the club. There's obviously a lot of young, good players coming up here. We got a load of experienced players in the dressing room, like Podge, Boiler, obviously. We've got a new signing in as well. He has a bit of experience, but yeah, I think just try and help the team win games, score goals, get assists, just impact the game, and obviously just try and win as many games as we can and try to get a bit of momentum, and then just kind of see where that takes us. Obviously, our main push is probably try and push for Europe, and just give it our best crack and see how that goes.
I think that's something that keeps getting said, be it by the manager or even with the players when I'm talking to them, and it's certainly around the club, is this push for Europe. I mean, obviously we spent a long time sitting in 8th. We're out of that now as we record this. But the league is very tight, especially around the middle. Is it fair to say it's still a realistic possibility to look towards a push to Europe?
100%. I think if we weren't looking up, it'd be more of a negative thing instead of looking down. I think the best way of playing football is, instead of thinking about what's behind you, or we battling relegation, that's not even in our minds. We're just looking up, and if we can get Europe, it'll be really good for the club. I think it'll be really good for the fan base. I think it'll draw on more and more people, and I think we can kind of see in that as the games go on, we're getting more and more crowds in at the games, and the atmosphere is amazing, and it just it gives us a push on the pitch again.
Yeah, you mentioned the atmosphere there. There's certainly been a lot gone into improving that on the club side. A new PA system went in this year, the increased stuff in the fan zone. You can now have a drink in the fan zone. How much does that translate to you guys on the pitch, the excitement around the place?
I think that's it. I think just the buzz around the pitch before the game, warming up, you kind of you see a full stadium, and you go out there and just your family's there, your friends are there, and you hear the kind of the roar of the fans. Like that stuff you can't explain how that makes a player feel. You feel 50-60% more at it, like when the game starts, and if there's there's that for the rest of the season. Like, you know, we can do anything.
You scored a cracker of a goal against Cork last week at home. Munster derby doesn't get much bigger than that, but that goal in particular, I described it myself as Luis Suarez-esque. How does that even come into your mind when the ball comes at you, or is it just an instinct?
It's just pure instinct, to be honest. It's actually funny that Suarez used to be like my favourite player, and I used to see him do that all the time at Liverpool. But yeah, it was just, to be honest, I said to Grant after the game, I couldn't believe you crossed that ball. But no, it's just one of them where the ball comes into you, and I think I just had to direct it towards the goal, and it just went in and just went over the keeper, and I was buzzing about it, yeah.
Well, look, Tommy, we're all delighted that you signed this deal, that you're with us for the long term going forward, and I'm sure we'll have a more in-depth talk when we have you on the podcast.
Yeah, perfect. See you then.